Hey everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and I'm going to show you how to sprout the most beautiful microgreens to give any of your meals a little kick. This video is sponsored by Mumm Sprouting Seeds. I have been using their seeds for years, so I reached out to them while I use their seeds to show you how to sprout them. And so they sent me some really cool stuff here. They gave me a few more sample seeds that I don't already have. They also gave me some wonderful microgreen trays. They gave me their signature product sprouter that utilizes a simple canning jar. They created this stand to hold it vertically so any excess water drips down. It creates really good air circulation for the seeds, and it comes with a wonderful little plate here. These are some examples that I will show you how to do. This is red clover, broccoli, an Eastern ancient blend. I'm going to be showing you how to do some wonderful pea sprouts and so much more. Mumm Sprouting Seeds would also love to give anybody who wants to order off their website 10%. So you can use the code EVERYTHING10. The only thing is they're updating their website this year, so that code can't be placed in the cart, but you can definitely give them a call or go on their website to their contact page and shoot them off a message. Say, hey, I just watched a video from Everything Homemade channel. I would really like to place an order. Could I use Everything 10? And they will assist you from there. So without further ado, let's have some fun and let's get sprouting. Okay, so today we are going to be sprouting the awesome mix called the Sandwich Booster. This is a mix of clover, alfalfa, radish, and mustard seeds. This is an awesome mix. It really is. It's not spicy or hot, but it adds a really nice diversity and flavor to your sandwiches. I love it. I mean, I actually love all of these sprouting blends, different textures. You really can't go wrong. And for me, when I order from Mumm's, I like to order 5 or 6 different blends or separate seeds like the radishes or the peas, because having different flavors is the spice of life. So the very first thing you need is your canning jar. I have a stainless steel lid here. The screen just pops out. Mumm sells these as well. And what you need to do is you need to place 2 tablespoons of this mix into your canning jar. The next step that you need to do is add a little bit of water. This just takes the dust off the seeds. I'm going to just place my lid on top here, give it a little swirl, and then dump it out. Now remember, all the water that you drain out, plants love to drink it. So definitely use your extra water for plants. Now that you've rinsed out your seeds, the second thing you need to do is add a little bit more water, about a cup of water. Give it a little swirl to get these seeds that are stuck to the side down and into the water. And what you need to do is soak these seeds for 4 to 8 hours. And I usually soak my seeds for the max amount of time. So I'm going to place this jar on my counter out of the way and leave it for 8 hours out of direct sunlight. And I'll be back to show you what the seeds look like and how they transformed in 8 hours. So after 8 hours, the sandwich mix definitely looks a bit different. You can tell the big round brown seeds right here are radishes, and if you look really closely you can actually see them starting to have a little root at the end. I'm going to show you this up close in a moment, but what you want to do after you're done soaking is take a bowl and just strain out that water. It's like that. Then what I'd like to do is just give it a couple little hits and bring down that seed and just put it on my counter like this. Now you definitely want to keep it out of indirect sunlight. Keep it on the counter like this for the first 2 days with rinsing your seeds morning and night. So you want to rinse your seeds twice a day, and that just means that you take your jar and you fill it up with a little bit of water covering your seeds, and there is some seeds stuck to the side here of your jar. Just take the water and swish it around just like that, and you'll get them all. And I just keep it for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then what I do is just once again strain out the liquid. Now use the water for your plants. Your plants love it. It's easy fertilizer for your plants. Okay, so the other thing is you want to make sure that at about day 3 you want to put these on a stand just like this, because that way it drains a little bit more water. And you'll notice by day 3 this will bulk up to triple to quadruple the amount. Like it bulks up and therefore holds more water. I find the first 2 days, if you put it on the stand, it drains the water too well. And if you're working, 12-hour shifts or can't, water these in between in the middle of the day, this method, just putting it on the counter like this, definitely increases the germination rate. And nothing dries out. So remember to water twice a day, and the first 2 days, 2 to 3 days, keep your canning jar just like this on your counter. Now let's take a closer look of what's actually happening with those seeds. So after 1 day, you'll notice that you can start to see some really good roots everywhere. Everything's bursting with life, germinating, and it's really cool to see. And so we have a day and a half here, and the roots have just grew like crazy. I mean, they grew in centimeter just overnight. It's incredible to watch. At the second day, the radishes start to really come out. You can see the leaves bursting out of the seeds. The alfalfa, the clover, they are still concentrating more on the roots, while radish concentrates on the roots and leaves at the same time. So everything's growing. By 2.5 days, you'll notice things are starting to green up. So you'll notice that the radish leaves still look kind of this pasty green color, but you'll start to notice that all the rest of the seeds are starting to sprout, and they have this beautiful lively kind of apple green, Granny Smith apple green leaves that are starting to emerge. By 3 days, they have basically done growing their roots, and they're putting everything into their sprouts. So we're just shy of a day to 2 days from eating them. Everything is starting to come to life. Things are greening up, and this is where you can definitely even go down to once a day rinsing, because the sprouts hold much more water. So if you miss rinse at this particular stage is no big deal. And then you have 3.5 days, and just the transformation is just so cool to see. Now these radishes aren't the really purple pinkish kind, they're more on the green side. So everything is growing and basically ready to bust out of your jar. And so when things look like this, you're definitely ready to eat. So like I said, between that 4 and 5 days, you will have this beautiful sandwich mix full of flavors, because it is a mix. It really complements your sandwich in particular. That's why it's called the sandwich mix, because it tastes delicious. You have a piece of bread, whatever kind of condiments you want, maybe some roast beef, and a piece of cheese with these sprouts, and you bite into it, and it's just lie. It's just so delicious. So take a look at this mix. This mix is completely done, and it really looks close to the red clover that I showed you, the very first video that I showed you when it comes to growing microgreen. The same procedure also applies. So what I'm going to do is actually just remove the top here. And you can see some of the seeds stick to the top. That's not that big of a deal. And sometimes you'll have a little dry spot at the top, and that's no big deal at all. I just sometimes remove that, but that's totally normal. But the rest looks awesome. So what I would like to do is just give this a quick washing. Now you have some larger seeds in here, so I'm just going to get some of the loose husks out, and I'm just going to pour some water in, and I'm just going to press it down a bit and kind of loosen it up. And you can see some of the loose husks or skins coming to the top. You can also see them stuck to me as well. So I'm just going to give this a little movement here, just like that, loosen it up, and kind of use my hand to push them up, and then spill them out into my bowl right over here. So I'm going to do that again. And just, there we go. And now I'm just going to hold them aside and spill them out. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to rinse my hand off here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to set my container aside, and I'm going to I'm going to replace it with a Pyrex dish. Now this Pyrex dish has an 1.5 inch size. It's just a smaller one. I'm going to have some paper towel here. I'm going to fold it up to the size of my container. And then what I'm going to do is just spill this out. Now I just washed these, so there's going to be extra water. So I'm not going to initially spray my paper towel. As you can see here, there was water and it's already wet. The other thing is, sometimes with these jars, you'll notice that some of the seeds actually collect at the bottom, and I'll just take some and discard. So now I'm going to just loosen it up. And you can see how beautiful it is. Now there are some radishes, so this is a little radish right here in there. They're also just green here. And so this again is just a really nice mix of clover and alfalfa and radish to go into your sandwich. So what I'm going to do now is going to store this in the fridge. And when you store your sprouts in the fridge, you want to make sure that your lid isn't right closed, especially if there isn't any kind of holes. If you want it right closed, make sure that there's holes in there so your sprouts can breathe. You can also store it in the fridge just like this. They keep about 10 days with good maintenance in the fridge. And if you notice that they're getting dried out, you can just simply take a spray bottle, spray your sprouts, and you're golden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a wonderful fish sandwich with this. And I love eating fish with sprouts and cheese. It's just absolutely delicious. So enjoy your sprouts. Check out my favorite sandwich. Subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next video.